The Biden administration pushing to win over Georgia voters is now a family affair.
Second gentleman Doug Emhoff, husband to Vice President Kamala Harris, he just left Atlanta. Atlanta News First, Brittany Ford is live outside the gathering spot. This is along Marietta Street.
And Brittany, the administration really doing its best to appeal to people who helped us secure a historical win 4 years ago.
Well, yeah, this is one of several trips the Biden administration has made to Atlanta this year to win over the battleground state. The second gentleman just wrapped up a roundtable here with young voters. You can still see the Secret Service that is stationed outside of the gathering spot here. This was one of 2 trips today.
Hello, Mr. Emhoff. Thank you for coming to
Second gentleman Doug Emhoff in Atlanta as the Biden administration continues its 2024 re-election bid. His first stop, Sublime Donuts in West Midtown.
Small business is tough because obviously any business you're opening, you're competing against legacy businesses who've been there and who have all the capital, all the political clout.
Emhoff and owner Kamala Grant discussed how the federal government can support small business owners, especially those in the Black community who struggle to attain the resources to keep their businesses afloat.
Having access to capital is very hard in our community. You know, we don't really have that generational wealth. So building upon that and really having the access to learn about where to get that capital.
His next stop, the Atlanta gathering spot for a roundtable with college students discussing reproductive rights.
And it's not just daughters. We have sons and daughters.
The roundtable was held with members of the group Men for Choice.
Regarding the situation at hand, I'm very on edge, really just for my kids' future. What the America that I grew up in, how would that America be so different?
Now, this comes as President Biden is set to speak at Morehouse's college graduation in the next week or so here. Former President Donald Trump has made a total of 2 trips to Atlanta so far this year, the most recent just last month. Reporting live in Northwest Atlanta, Brittany Ford, Atlanta News First.